There was once someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things. The people just had to ask who he really was. One time when they asked, he said, "I am the light." I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. The one who said, "I am the light," changed to be in all places at all times. See this light? I was just in one place. Let's change the light. Look, the light's changed. It's growing, becoming invisible, filling the room with the light of Christ. As you go about this room today, know that the light is there. And when you leave this room today, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go. Now watch carefully so you always know where today's lesson is. We're missing something. Everyone needs to be ready. After many years, a new Pharaoh ruled. He did not remember what Joseph had done for Egypt. The people of God became slaves. They were trapped and could not go home. There were so many of the people of God in Egypt that the Pharaoh was afraid they would take his kingdom away from him. So he said that all the baby boys had to be killed. One of the mothers made a basket of bushels woven together and hid a baby in the basket. She put the baby's basket in the reeds by the Nile. The daughter of the Pharaoh found the basket. She named the baby Moses and raised him in the palace. When Moses was a young man, he saw an Egyptian beating one of the people of God. Moses grew angry and killed him. Then he ran away into the desert. Moses stayed with the family of Jethro. He married Zipporah, one of Jethro's daughter, and became a shepherd. He lived there for 40 years. One day, while Moses was taking care of Jethro's sheep, he took them to the mountain of God, which was called Mount Sinai. He suddenly saw a bush that was burning, but did not burn up. God spoke to Moses from the burning bush. God told Moses that the cries of the people of God in Egypt had been heard. Moses was to go and set the people free. Moses said, "But who am I to do such a thing?" God said, "I will be with you." "What is your name?" "My name is Yahweh. I am who I am." "Can't you send someone else?" "Aaron your brother, will go with you. He will speak for you." So Moses went back to Egypt to tell the Pharaoh to let his people go. Moses went many times to the Pharaoh to tell him to let God's people go, and many times the Pharaoh said no. Terrible things happened in the land of Egypt, and finally the Pharaoh said yes. God helped Moses lead the people through the water and into freedom. Moses led the people through the desert for 40 years. The people of God grew tired and hungry and discouraged, and they grumbled to Moses. But God showed the people of God that he was with them by giving them quail and manna. When the people were thirsty from traveling in the desert, they complained to Moses, and Moses talked to God. God told Moses to strike a rock with his staff. Water came out of the rock so that the people could drink. Something happened that God got angry about. Moses did not keep faith with God in the midst of the people. So God told Moses that he would see but never enter the promised land. The people were free, but they didn't know the best way to go. With God's help, Moses led the people to God's mountain, Mount Sinai. When God had spoken to him through the burning bush, and Moses went up onto the mountain to talk with God, and the people waited and waited and waited and waited. Moses was gone a long time. The people began to think Moses was never coming back. So they asked Aaron to make them a new god to lead them. Aaron took all the gold the women were wearing and melted it. Then he shaped the gold into a calf. He gave the calf to the people, saying, "Here is your God." And the people built an altar and worshipped at the golden calf. Moses came down from the mountain. His face was shining. He carried the 10 best ways, but found the people worshiping the golden calf. He grew angry, and he broke the stone tablets on which the 10 best ways were written. He took the golden calf and threw it into the fire. The people were sorry, so God gave Moses the 10 best ways again, and Moses gave them to the people. God told Moses to have the people make a box called an ark to hold the 10 best ways. The box was covered with gold, and it had poles on the sides, so the people could always carry it with them whenever they went to God. When the people stopped to rest into the wilderness, God's glory filled a tent, and Moses came close to God there. When he came back out, his face was shining. After 40 years, they came to another mountain, Mount Nebo. Moses looked over into the promised land from the mountain. And God said, I will give you this land to the people of God, but you will not cross over. Moses died there, and no one knows to this day where he was buried. I wonder which part of the story you like best. And I wonder if we have anything that we can take out of the story and still have everything that we need to tell it. I wonder, where are you in this story? And I wonder, which part is about you? I wonder, will you think of this story today? Or maybe another one. But whatever you do today, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go.